Today's date is December 28th, 2025, and I see Michael Parkinson Sr. in this picture, a veteran of World War II. Behind him there is Michael Parkinson Jr. Now we're going to show another picture of Michael Parkinson Sr., and Michael Parkinson Jr. is going to talk about Michael Parkinson Sr. and his World War II escapades, where he went to high school in Evansville, born, and what part of town he lived in, etc. That's Michael Parkinson Sr. right there. Okay, Michael.
Yes.
Let's start. When was your dad born, and what was his mother's maiden name?
Okay.
And where was his mother and father from?
All right. The maiden names I'm having a hard time thinking of. Dad was born here. He was born over on, he lived on Iowa Street near St. Joseph Church here in Evansville. And he lived in that area until he died in 1967.
Okay, that's called Jimtown. My mother went to St. Joseph Church. Was he Catholic? Did he go to that church?
Oh yeah, he was big in the church.
So he went to that church, and he was born in what year?
1917 or 18, I think.
Okay, my mother was born in 23, so he'd have been older than her.
Yeah.
That was the biggest Catholic school in Evansville at that time.
Yeah.
Close to 1,000 students.
Wow.
So she lived on Florida, and she walked about 7 blocks to the school, and he lived on Iowa, and so he walked 2
or 3 blocks, yeah.
So Dad was born in Evansville on Iowa Street, and then tell us what he did as a kid, what grade school, what high school he went to.
Well, he went to St. Joseph and Central. Those were the 2 schools.
So St. Joe and Central, okay.
And then University of Evansville.
And then UV,
Yeah.
okay. So he graduated from St. Joe probably in 32 or so, and from high school
37.
37, and UV 41?
No, he didn't. 49.
49. But he went a few years to UV before college or before the youth service or not?
No.
Okay.
He went to college only because of the GI Bill of Rights.
All right.
And he had to get his degree in 3 years. His father-in-law said, "I'll put you and your mother up at our house and feed you if you will go to college and get your degree in 3 years." So that's what he did.
Okay, when did he marry your mother? About when?
In late 1930s, 38, 39.
So he was
right
married
after school, right after high school.
All right. So I showed you Reverend Rake's archives. He is a reverend here at a church near the Wellborn Baptist Hospital.
Mm-hmm.
It's called the Baptist Church.
Mm-hmm.
He wrote to everybody from Central, so we might have some letters of your dad in there.
Oh, okay.
His son went to Central, and he has 236 people he communicated with from his church, but also Central High School.
Yeah.
So we'll go look at the archives and see if we can find your dad's letters in there.
Yeah, he was a class president, so he might have been, known.
Yeah, well, then he might have been, but he graduated. See, this guy's son graduated 41 or 42, Reverend Rakes. But that could be some very interesting information. We would print it out today or copy it for you if we have it. So then your dad graduated from Central High School. What did he do from 39 to 41 when we were not at war yet?
Well, he was a truck driver, and he did,
Really?
yeah, he did Southern Indiana. I think he went down to Nashville, and just an area circle around about that big.
For A&H Truck Lines, or do you remember the name?
I don't remember the name.
Okay, so he did that for 2 years.
And
Mother was married to him in 39.
Yes.
They had any kids before the war?
No,
So
I was
you're-
the first one.
And you're after the war. You're 45, 47 baby?
I'm 49.
49 baby. And
Dad went to college, and he graduated in 49, and I was born right after, probably 2 months after he was graduating.
now in college, he took 3 years. Did he stay on base? There was Quonset there for people wanting to go to college, or did they stay in the in-laws' house?
Well, he had a house, he had an apartment or something. They lived in Kansas with the last time he was at the Army.
I see.
He had a job. He was a gunnery instructor, and particularly tail gunneries.
Okay, let's begin now. He got in World War II probably in 41. Can you tell us anything about when he went in, where he trained? At Scott, you said, and then, any of go chronologically through the war if you can, as well as you
All right,
can.
what I remember, his training was, he was in San Diego and he was in El Paso. Those are the two things I remember. Then Great Bend, Kansas is where he spent most of his time.
What city?
Great Bend.
Great Bend, Kansas.
Kansas, yeah. That's where he had his job of training.
When did he go in the Army? In 41 or 40? Did he enlist?
No, he was drafted, and I couldn't tell you the exact year he went in.
So 41 or 42? he
Yeah.
went in. Okay.
Yeah.
Then Scott, then San Diego, then back to Kansas.
Yes.
And then did he go overseas during World War II?
Not at all.
Okay. Tell me how he trained people in the planes and what guns did he help train them on? If you
Oh, I couldn't tell you that. I just know he was a tail gunnery instructor.
I see.
And that's all I really know about that. Then it was the Army Air Force, because they didn't have an Air Force at the time.
Okay.
As a separate branch, you know
So
that.
Army Air Corps, the two gun planes that we had tail guns in, if I recall right, is a B-17 and also a B-25. And we have both those hanging in the museum. But those are the only ones with a tail gunner.
Yeah.
So he probably taught kids how, and I believe there's 50 millimeter guns, but I can't swear to it. But they're pretty good sized guns. It's a very treacherous place to be because the enemy could miss the pilot and hit the tail gunner.
Yeah.
So he had to get them pretty accurate, and they were good during World War II.
Yeah.
So your dad really trained people. Was mom living with him back in Kansas?
Yeah, they had an apartment or whatever in Great Bend, and Dad, Mom said that it was just like a job. Dad would go do his training, come home to the apartment and be with his wife and other military people that were living in that area.
But he didn't get paid much.
No, he didn't get paid much. He did a lot better later on.
Did she work at that time? Or
No.
not? She didn't work. Yeah. Okay. All right. So then tell me what your dad did in Evansville after he got out of the service and why he came back here. Because him and mom were both from here. Mom from here
Yes.
too.
Well, he came back here. His mother was here, and more particularly, my mother, her mother was here, and Dad, and she just didn't want to ever get away from them.
Yeah.
He got all kind of opportunities in life to move other places, and not when Grandma was around.
Yeah. Mothers like to be near their home. And little homesickness when she's in Kansas, she's probably tremendously homesick. Probably in
Yeah.
San Diego, tremendously homesick. Same happened to my grandmother. They didn't want to be away from home, and so
Yeah.
she ruled your father.
Yeah.
And that's rightfully so. But women do rule the roost most of the time, and this is an example. But
Yeah.
she didn't want to go. He had other opportunities that would have advanced him probably economically.
Oh yeah.
But he emotionally was pretty smart. He stayed here with her.
Talk
Yeah.
about Harkey.
Oh,
yeah.
tell us about the Harkey and who he worked for.
Dad and Harkey were in the same era of college.
Let me tell you about Harkey. Harkey was a small town here in southern Indiana, and he became famous. He was our sheriff in the 50s, and then our mayor, and then he went up to senator for
Yeah.
about 12 years. So
Yeah.
Senator Harkey, a pool's named after him here. He
Yeah.
still has lots of relatives right here.
Yeah.
So tell him the relationship with Harkey.
Well, Dad did a lot of campaign management for Harkey. They were good friends, and Harkey said they said in college that Harkey said, "You go get an accounting degree, and I'll get a law degree, and we'll go into politics." Well, they did, and Dad was a combination of high detail but big personality. So he was kind of a perfect match with Harkey. Harkey wanted the spotlight, but Dad could shine too. And so Dad was with him, did a lot of the campaign management stuff. And they stayed together. He was president of the Board of Works under Harkey. Harkey nominated him to that. So he was with Harkey for a number of years on various projects.
So my dad would talk about Harkey. Harkey was on the campaign trail, and he would stop. He didn't want to stop for dinner, and he'd drink milkshakes. So he gained a bunch of weight during one of his campaigns. He
Yeah.
said he had the best milkshakes in Indiana, but he gained some weight.
Yeah.
Instead of eating meals, he'd drink those milkshakes.
Yeah, I don't blame him. I would do that too.
Brian Harkey is his nephew, and he ran for our congressman back in about 2008 or 10. He lost, but he worked for Bristol Myers for 40 years. He's a very intelligent guy, and he would have been a good choice.
Yeah.
He just lost the election, but that would have been another generation of Harkeys.
Yeah.
Harkey was very famous in Congress, and him and Capehart were the senators here
Yeah, I
together.
remember that.
Yeah, Capehart invented the jukebox and made his money off the jukebox. I don't know what Vance, I think he and Capehart were instrumental in getting seatbelts enforced in the United States. That'd be the late 60s.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to think what other important things Hartley got at Vance. But now tell me a little bit about yourself, Michael Jr., and your two siblings. And tell me when they were born, where they went to school,
Okay.
and then how dad's training in the military and your mom's mothership helped you become a better person.
Okay. Well, I was born in 1949, and I'm the oldest, and I have a brother that was born in 1952, and that's Stephen Parkinson, and he's married to Judge Lloyd now. And I have a sister that lives in Arkansas. Her name is Tricia Saucing, and she's an accountant too.
What city in Arkansas?
Conway. She went to USI. I went to U of E, and my brother Steve, the one that was born in 52, went to IU. Then I had a younger brother who was born in, 57, and he died just 3 years ago of cancer, stomach cancer. And he had some problems mentally, and he was kind of on, he could still function, but he couldn't function in a job very well. He was kind of taken care of. Yeah. And he really never did the workforce.
And you have some of the Parkinson clan here still in Evansville, because your offspring, your sister and brother's offspring, most of your offspring, your daughter's right here with us.
Yeah, she's in Connecticut.
Well, she moved away. She should.
Well, she moved to me. I was living in Connecticut, and she graduated from Middle Tennessee State when I was up there, and she came to visit me. And she called the school, state or something, and they gave her a job right away. They said the Connecticut doesn't have geography teachers, they are majors. So they grabbed her up right away. And she was a good college volleyball player, and they said she could be a volleyball coach, which she didn't like at all.
So Middle Tennessee State, my niece went there, so I've been down there several times, and there's a famous Ian Mackey from the Baltimore Colts that lives in Middle Tennessee State, whatever the city is there, Franklin?
Murfreesboro.
Murfreesboro. Yeah. So I was a doctor, or I am a doctor, but this drug rep came to me one time, and a guy named Bill Metcalf was from here. Nobody knows that, but his wife just died, but he sold Steinway pianos here. And
I know the Metcalfs.
This is Bill Metcalf, and he had the piano shop right across the Lowe's Victory.
Yeah.
Then he moved it out to the Green River Road.
They were married. They were related to my dad's and mom's friends. Metcalf, who married to Vowles.
I see.
And then some of the kids from the Vowleses worked at Shuttler.
At Shuttler Music. Okay.
Shuttler, yeah.
So I don't know what year it was. It was in 01 or so. So he went to Middle Tennessee State, and somehow he knew somebody there, and he said they wanted to get pianos for their school. They had a music school, and this donor didn't want to donate bricks and mortar. He just wanted to donate pianos. Mm-hmm. So I think he donated 100 brand new Steinways, and Bill Metcalf sold them to him, and it changed their music school forever. About 10 years later, we figured out the money came from Enron, but we couldn't give the pianos back. So the Middle Tennessee State became a music haven because of 100 Steinways, brand new. So I think Bill then moved his thing from Evansville to Nashville, and his daughter's running it now.
Yeah.
But if you're related to some good blood there.
Well, no, we're not related. We just know that family.
Now,
I went to U of E, and I got a degree in business and then a master's degree in business. And that was in 71, the first one, and 73, the second one. And went to work at Babcock and Wilcox in Mount Vernon, and I was a computer manager there, systems manager. And
Babcock and Wilcox in Mount Vernon is a tremendous military supplier.
Yes, they are.
You can just tell us about 10 things they supply. They are a giant building on the river that does a ton for military, so that was a big deal.
Yeah, when I was there was a lot of Navy contracts. Mm-hmm. And there were German contracts, and they made both nuclear plants and submarine engines and aircraft engines.
Yeah, And then you moved from there to Connecticut?
No.
Took a while.
You know what happened down at Babcock and Wilcox back in the late 70s? The employment out there went like that.
Yeah.
And I was part of going like that. And I got a job with Xerox, and I said, I'm tired of being in Evansville, send me somewhere. And they sent me to Bowling Green, Kentucky, which doesn't sound all that great, but it was probably the start of the best things of my life. There was an international company down there that hired me as customer service manager, and I ended up in sales management. I had the United States for some heating products, and that gave me a contact with British, Japanese, and all that. And then a British company asked me to start a U.S. subsidiary for them a few years later, and I did. And I moved it to Nashville, and we sold the gas logs, the gas fireplaces, and heating products.
Huh.
And
Well, you were taught by your dad and your mom well.
Oh, yeah.
So St. Joe and
yeah.
Central, and then U of E.
yeah,
Or
I went to Rex Monday.
Rex Monday. Okay, so
Yeah.
we got 4 Rex Monday people working here. Steve Grannon,
Oh, yeah.
Larry
Steve
Head,
Grannon. Yeah.
Bob Greasy didn't work here. Mike Minton didn't work here. We want
No.
them here, but they're not working.
Yeah.
And Niemeyer isn't working. You
Yeah.
remember all those guys?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Sparky worked here.
I heard that Niemeyer was missing in action for a while.
I don't know. He was 6'9". He'd be hard to miss.
Yeah. Well, I talked to his relatives down at the Y, and they said he just left one day and we never heard from him.
I haven't heard from him. Mike Minton, little guy, he had an ice cream shop here. I know
I know
his
Mike.
cousin, yeah. So Rex Bundy Monarch, and
Yeah.
Spike Bell works here, and Doug Bell works here.
I
Both of
know,
them.
I know both of them.
Yeah, yeah.
Spike Bell was in my class.
Spike's here all the time. He teaches the seminars. He's a pilot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Doug Bell was a couple years younger than that.
yeah. He's my class.
Yeah.
He eats nails.
Uh-huh.
He played for pro football. I
Yeah.
didn't quite make it.
Yeah.
How about anything about your sister and brother and other brother? Anything significant
Okay.
we should say about how mom and dad taught them, and
Yeah.
how that
Yeah.
military influence and just good
Yeah,
upbringing?
well, Dad was very, he had discipline, great discipline. And I'm sure that helped him in the military, and he probably was also taught a lot by it. Because he grew up in an extremely poor family. I mean, Iowa Street back in the 40s was not a very good place to be. And he pulled himself up from the bootstraps and made his degree and went into, he was the controller for J.H. Rudolph Company when he died.
J.H. Rudolph makes all the blacktop here. They were bought out by Molzer, but
Yeah.
they were a great company in blacktop.
Yeah, yes, that's what he did. He was their controller. And he did quite well with them.
And your sister that's an accountant in Arkansas,
Yeah.
and then you got another brother that's somewhere, and then you got
He's in Evansville,
River.
Steve.
because Stephen Parkinson's
Yeah.
He, I might know him. He married the Lloyd girl. Lloyd was
Yeah.
our mayor, and that's his daughter. And she's
Yeah.
been a judge here for many years. So
Yeah. Yeah,
she
that's
kept
his
her
wife.
maiden name, I think.
Yeah, she did. And we were over at his house yesterday.
They give
Yeah.
you free food.
Well, no, he's not in good shape. He broke his back.
Oh boy.
He decided at 73 that he was going to install one of those camera doorbells, and he got up on a flimsy box and fell over backwards.
No, we was in the chair and it slid off.
And it slid off
Broke his
and
back.
it broke his back.
Oh.
And he's in his turtle shell now. When we saw him, big plastic thing that goes around him, and in pain and not doing too well. But he retired. He was in advertising in Evansville. He was a sales manager for, I think,
Lexus or
WTVW.
something.
Huh?
Did he work for Lexus later?
Yeah. Well, that's after
Yeah,
the.
TV.
Yeah, he worked most of his life in advertising, TV.
And then your sister in Arkansas, is that close to where
Walmart is.
Walmart is?
Oh yeah, very close to where Walmart.
So it's the Tyson's, Walmart, and JPL.
Yeah.
3 biggest company, Fortune 500 right there.
Yeah.
They moving supposedly the Everett Museum there. One of the Walmart heirs, she's got a lot of money and she wants the museum moved down. So Everett had the Paul Allen's whole entourage up there in a museum and I think she bought the whole thing's moving down to Arkansas. So that would be great for the state of Arkansas. It would be great for those planes too.
Yeah, well, she did good. She was working for a large construction company, and she married one of the top consultants inside the company. He worked with finance and helped each department with their problems. And he ended up being quite a guy. He was an entrepreneur and eventually bought a quarry in Nashville, Mount Murfreesboro. And they sold it for millions and millions.
Yeah.
And so they built their dream house on the lake down there. And they're just living the good life right now.
That's good. The Ozarks, everything's pretty down there.
Yeah.
Tiger Woods got a golf course down there.
Yeah,
And everything.
I'm sure Terry, her husband's been on those golf courses.
And your other son, or your other brother had some, mental issues.
Yeah,
but-
he was a schizophrenic.
Yeah, well, we have a Stone Center. If you go downtown, it's called the Stone Medical Center. And Bill Stone is the philanthropist from your daughter's hometown there. And he has given us $53 million to help with mental health.
Wow.
And so the medical school, USI, U of E, Ivy Tech are all working religiously to try to make the medical school better. We have one of the branches in Indiana, one of 8 branches with close to 45 students now, but we've trained 6 psychiatrists per year. We're going to train 12. We have
They're very much
psychologists.
needed too.
Absolutely, psychologists in University of Evansville are being trained. So it's called the Stone Center for Mental Health, and we are working hard to make it the premier focus. And you saw with your brother, I've had things in my family. Bill Stone has had things in his family. So we're going to try to help the people with mental needs. So your brother would have had better care if we had this off the ground. And you know as well as I do, access is very difficult with mental health.
Yeah.
And even though we're only about the 46th state in rank on mental health in Indiana, which we want to change that. That's not anything to brag about.
No.
That's not 46 from the top, it's there's 46 from the top, so we're 4 from the bottom. But that is going to change. But you will see that over time. You drive by downtown, and I showed you where he helped us with our museum here as well.
Yeah.
So
He was they experimented on him with a drug back in when he was in his early 20s, and it took him from just being in a dark bedroom all the time to being out and having his own apartment and driving his car and doing his stuff. But he couldn't do a job. I mean, it made him too nervous.
but it still brought him out.
It brought him out.
Probably Zyprexa, Tom Liffick, and another guy down there named Skip Whitehead. They were big.
I know Skip.
Skip was a very big, he's just retired, I think, but he's big and helpful. And, like I've had a immediate family, my son had similar problems. It's a little different, but I lost him 6 years ago, so I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I saw Skip in the grocery store not too long ago.
Yeah. Okay, well, Michael, anything to add? We have a young lady next to me. I don't know if she wants to get on the film, but she's his daughter, and she is a teacher there in East Hartford, Connecticut, where SS&C started in Windsor, up there, near there. But can I turn the camera on you? You're a little prettier than us.
You can if you want.
Okay. Go ahead and speak about things and how you think your grandparents influenced things here, and say your first and last name.
Sure. I'm Angie Parkinson. I'm a teacher in Connecticut, and my grandfather is the one you've been hearing about. He died when he was 49, and I wasn't born yet. I wasn't even a glimmer yet. But I ended up getting into politics in Connecticut. I serve on the East Hartford Town Council, which is another World War II legacy town, trying to get some connections going between this museum and a World War II museum that's starting in my town. It's also where Pratt Whitney is, so they're still in the defense industry. I actually represent the area where they are. So I did not know until I was elected myself that my grandfather was in politics. So that was just kind of fun to learn that whole connection with politics and my dad's dad.
What's your full name and what school do you teach at?
Angie Parkinson in Colchester, which is about 30 minutes from Hartford. It's a very old public high school called Bacon Academy. It's been around for 200 years.
Wow.
Yeah. And
So public
side
school,
note,
is it public or private?
Yeah, it's public. It's just really old.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a side note, I was just telling you that I've read 2 books now about Frances Perkins, who was the labor secretary under FDR. She was the reason we have Social Security. She had to nag him about it, and he finally decided he wanted to do it, but it was because of her that we have Social Security. And she actually, when she was young, she taught at Bacon Academy for a couple months, which is where I teach now. And, you know, I was involved in politics before I knew anything about her because we don't learn about her, and that's not okay. And I'm progressive also, so.
And what also you saw in the museum today, at our Evansville Wartime Museum, and you're going to create a museum up there, that the kids don't have enough time in school to garner all this information. They need field trips, they need other exposures, such as we do here, and you will implement that up there. But these things are important to their education, which the school system has to pass ISTEP, they have to pass so many things, they just don't have enough time to get as much history across as they need to. Even though you're an excellent teacher, you don't have enough time in the day.
Never enough time, no. So yeah, I mean, I don't teach US history, I teach pretty much everything else. I teach non-Western history and anthropology and things like that, but it's all important. And yeah, it's good to have places like this that are recording things like this for posterity. Super important.
Anthropology, also archaeology. U of E has a course on archaeology, and we have the Angel Mounds here that's very historic in Mississippian culture. So
Yeah, when I played volleyball at MTSU, we played U of E and we beat them.
you didn't have to say that, Angie.
Beat 'em bad.
Oh, beat them
Well,
bad.
they-
2-1, 2-0.
My coach put them on the schedule so that I could play in my hometown and my family could come and watch. So,
What was the score?
I don't remember.
10-0.
It was a long time.
She did a dink on them.
Oh, stop it.
Yeah, oh, leave it.